journalist over for News Nation, and he was there witnessing these drones. Where are these drones coming from? What are they?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, at least 5 lights, 6 lights.
I didn't believe what I was seeing. I think we've seen about 40 or 50 of these drones right there.
And it looks like, I guess, an enormous drone?
Do you have the authority to shoot down drones?
Our authorities are very limited.
Drones coming out of the sea. Very interesting take here from this individual called Rich McHugh. He's an investigative journalist over for News Nation, and he was there witnessing these drones. And he said, you know, I wasn't too keen on this story for a while until I actually went and saw it. And this begs the question, where are these drones coming from? What are they? There was another interesting theory that was shared by another person that hinted that it might be something to do with emergency unmanned airborne spectrometric HPGE monitoring systems. Unmanned aerial drones that are launched from the sea to check on nuclear radiation. Whether this is a test or something that's actually being used is yet to be seen. In other words, are they just seeing if they can conduct these observations, or are they actually conducting observations for some reason? So we'll come back on that. But here is what this guy said when he was out reporting for News Nation.
Our own Rich McHugh went out drone hunting in New Jersey. He did not come back empty-handed. Rich, tell us what you saw.
Hi, Elizabeth. Well, I got to be honest here. You know, when this story first came out a few weeks ago, as a resident of New Jersey, as a journalist, I didn't pay it much credence. I thought it would turn out to be a bunch of pranksters and this would all be over by now. The experience I had last night, however, changed the way I feel about this story completely. What I saw was more sophisticated than I ever imagined. Take a look.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, at least 5 lights, 6 lights.
I didn't believe what I was seeing. But what was I seeing? We're here in central Jersey. We've been looking for the past hour. I think we've seen about 40 or 50 of these drones. In fact, there's one over my shoulder right there. One after another, these drones appeared in the night sky. If you look real close, they look like fixed-wing aircraft, about 8 to 10 feet wide, colorful, white blinking lights.
That is not a plane.
Definitely not an airplane, but what was it? Hours earlier, I was invited to join the Ocean County Sheriff Department. They launched their own drones to see if they could intercept the mysterious aircraft New Jersey residents have been reporting in recent weeks. The department says these mystery drones evade detection because they don't give off heat like regular drones. Why do you think that is?
You know, it's not something that we've had our hands on. It's not something that we've experienced.
Something they hadn't experienced until now. One of their officers called 911 after seeing 50 of them come off the ocean.
Advised after we made contact with that officer that there were 50 that came off the ocean.
50?
50. That was my reaction also. There were 50 that were coming off the ocean.
And this is a sworn officer?
A sworn officer, yes. We contacted state police, we contacted the FBI, we contacted the Coast Guard, at which point the Coast Guard went out with their boat and they reported seeing 13 following their boat. And then the Coast Guard also advised that they went over them about 300 feet and had a wingspan of about 8 feet.
I see one right there.
Wow.
Did I see the same thing that officer saw? I'm still not sure. What I can show you is this video. What I can tell you is I've never seen anything like it before.
Wow.
And more than a month since these reports started, the federal government doesn't know what they are either. What's your message to the White House?
My message is come to the Jersey Shore. I know it's wintertime, but come see what we see and then, you know, maybe have a better appreciation for why our residents are concerned.
You know, the Ocean County Sheriff, that drone unit, they have an industrial grade drone. They put it up. They were tracking one of these drones, Elizabeth, and they said this thing easily evaded them, disappeared out of thin air. So, you know, to me, if this is not our military, then it's even more scary, and we need answers, frankly.
Yeah, so not good. A lot of people kind of scoffing at it, right? And then you go and you look at it. Even the United States Senator that we saw yesterday is like, man, these things are pretty serious. Like, they really move and they look like they're coming in overwhelming force. So he's saying they're coming out of the ocean. Now, I want to share this with you because this was a curious post from this individual called Bob's News. Now, he's sharing a post from this other account on X called Jersey Futures. Now, Jersey Futures deleted their account after they posted this. And this is giving me some like COVID flashbacks where we were seeing a lot of the lab leak hypothesis and all this stuff emerging on X and other forums. And then suddenly it's like, oh yeah, that's what really happened. So this guy guy posted this and then deleted it. And before you say, Rob, it's some anonymous crazy account that is totally lunacy, ridiculous. Let me also show you this. Okay, this is also this report from ScienceDirect.com, which is April 2023 article from Applied Radiation and Isotopes. And they've got this whole program about emergency unmanned airborne spectrometric HPGE monitoring systems that are launched from the sea to go and check for nuclear proliferation. So we'll come back on that. But here is what this thesis is from Jersey Futures. And say, yeah, okay, it's totally anonymous. I get it, but it's a theory and any explanation can have merit to it. So he says, here's the following. I'm one of a few groups of people who know exactly what the drones are in New Jersey. This tweet will go into the void as I have no followers, but I'll share anyways. Please retweet for reach. What you're seeing are American-made HPGE nuclear detector drones. They can detect the presence of gamma rays miles away. But what is a gamma ray? Well, that'd be the stuff we attribute to radiation, electromagnetic waves that penetrate you and cause cancer. HPGE drones are built to inspect nuclear sites, but these ones aren't doing that. In the late 2000s, the DoD needed a response to the threat of dirty bombs from ISIS coming from our ports in New York, New Jersey. They've been stocking up on these drones for a while. Some were deployed to Ukraine when Russia threatened to use dirty bombs, if that happened or not. They look weird because they're heavy, whether it happened or not, right? It's like, Russia, dirty nuclear bomb. They look weird because they're heavy and they have giant cryo coolers mounted and giant horn antennas to communicate on multi-mm wave frequencies that can't be jammed. This is where I come in. The technology these drones use have few suppliers both for wave equipment and the high purity germanium. The same suppliers that are the backbone of my industry. So what are they doing? Collecting information in how the public will react to PSYOP and testing their ability to sweep a port city like New York for dirty bombs. Saying, so what are they doing? Jersey was chosen because we're the closest port city to New York and New York would be too dense for reliable waves comms. Saying, but why is the DoD silent? Again, because in a scenario, we have a threat of a dirty bomb and the public doesn't yet know, could be one scenario, the DoD needs to know how the public would react if these were deployed to sweep a city. Now, what many people don't realize is Ukraine is the reason we're here. That was the first time we deployed them in a combat zone, but make no mistake, they're for protecting the homeland, as DoD bought hundreds of thousands to act as swarms capable of sweeping a city. So is it PSYOP? They're just testing this to see how people react, or is it a real, there's something going on there? What many don't realize, sorry for all the typos I'm on a train, for the nerds who know a bit about this, look it up. They operate in a grid to sweep areas because the comms are done in a mesh network operating at 200 gigahertz, which is very directional, needs bulky horn antennas that are mounted. Should note, not a military expert, but I spent 1/3 of my career as an RF engineer. We're only hired in military, telecom, and finance. Anyways, this dude ended up nuking his account, so it's gone. All right, so Jersey Shores, if you look him up, he's now deleted his account. So it's like I posted it, and it's now deleted. So people saying, make no mistake, a dirty bomb, or was until now, could be the greatest threat to America. A few going off in New York City, central LA would cripple us. The evidence we need to respond in kind would be impossible. Oh, and now, don't forget, I know they're not foreign owned because I'm confident they're really just HPGE drones. Even if you don't believe me, you can see they got bright lights on them to keep our air traffic safe, okay? So it's not like they're trying to operate in secret, something an enemy wouldn't even care about. You just fly them around. Unless you don't want to take out airplane traffic, because obviously that would cause an escalation in a lot of things. Someone asks, is it this, that? Can't rule it out. What was most distinct to me was the clustering and the flight patterns I've seen. That screams sensing and logistics. There are a few things with the mission patterns to sense. They need to cluster up to get into it. So that's one thesis. Then you say, well, that's just made up. What are those things? Well, right here, there's a whole article about it. So these people here wrote this article, Emergency Unmanned Air Drone Spectrometric Monitoring Systems. Here's the story. After a nuclear or radiation event, emergency responders and radiation protection authorities need quick and credible information based on reliable accident and post-accident radiological data. However, risks to people in the vicinity pose challenges, like you can't send a bunch of people in there with Geiger counters or else they'll get fried. Many problems could be solved with unmanned airborne monitoring systems, but the current ones are mostly based on non-spectrometric detectors carried by drones, and therefore we need HPGE detector-based powerful systems. High purity germanium. The presented unmanned aerial spectrometric system is reliable and heavy duty and enables quick and safe identification of released radionucleotides, thus provides a basis for determining the plant damage and more. So there's a whole article, right? This is a scientific article. It looks like view the whole PDF here. Just give it to us. Wow. Okay, cool. This is cool. Emergency unmanned. Here's the article from some scientific journal, and inside, maybe that's what's on top, right? Maybe that's what they're actually showing us. That's why these things look different and weird, because I've got one of these things hanging from the bottom of them. Or that right there. Look at that. Detector holder for an unmanned helicopter. The left picture shows a 3D model. The right picture shows the final assembly with a mass model. Could it be that item or something else configured similarly? And then it's just going around and scanning a bunch of stuff. Now, is it scanning? This is interesting. This looks like chromatographs from DUI and drug cases. Anyways, are they just testing this or are they looking for something is the question. Installation of a detector aboard an R-44 helicopter. Looks like they just put it right there in one of the seats. And they're just flying these around to scan the landscape. There's another potential sample. All right, so seems like a pretty good thesis on that. I have a hard time believing these are not United States operated, or we don't know what they are. It makes as much sense as anything. Now, as we saw, President Trump said, all right, look, man, mystery drone sightings all over the country. Can this really be happening without our government's knowledge? No, I don't think so. Me either. Let the public know and now what they are. Otherwise, shoot them down. President Trump. So what if there was a nuclear isotope problem happening? Would they want to tell anybody, or would they just scramble around to try to find it? Like if they're doing sweeps over New Jersey and New York looking for a dirty bomb or an active bomb, like that scene from that movie, The Peacemaker, with George Clooney and Nicole Kidman, and they're racing against the clock to stop the bomb. Breach the plutonium core! Tink, tink, tink! And they save New York, remember? Is it one of those situations? Would they tell anybody? Or are they just doing a training exercise? I don't know. Hopefully it's just a training exercise. Would they let the public know if it was not a training exercise? I doubt it. All right, so here's another clip, all right? This came from Charlie Kirk. I saw this clip from a bunch of other people as well. Local New Jersey ABC News crew also capturing floating orbs in the sky. All right, here's this.
And Bill and Sandra, you know, when things like this are happening, it seems everyone starts to look up, like my crew and I have been here in Mendham recording this video that you're looking at right now. We have no idea what it is, if it's a natural phenomenon, because it could be, but this is why so many municipalities are now asking people to reach out and send their videos to them or to experts who might be able to sort out what they're seeing in the skies. But I guarantee there are so many people looking up and making those recordings because this mystery is one that needs to be solved. For now, we're live here in Mendham Borough. Tony Yates, Channel 7 Eyewitness News.
Okay, so there's floating orbs out there too. And I believe that's a new video because I saw another clip and it was like switching over to Senator Kim. So they don't know what they are. They tell us, they say, reports of flying objects are continuing to occur. They're now going to New York, and look at them in the sky, man. You can see them, tons of them. Bright lights floating all over the place. New Jersey captivated residents for a month. Now they have spread throughout the region. Federal authorities investigating the sightings have provided only few answers about what the objects are, leaving residents unsettled, local leaders frustrated. U.S. officials on Thursday said they'd been unable to corroborate the reported drone sightings, gaslighting everybody. We don't know what you're talking about, idiots. They're just airplanes. And suggested that many of those floating orbs that are burning electricity in the sky, they're just in figments of your imagination. They're like helicopters and airplanes, so relax. But assurances from state and local federal officials that the sightings don't indicate a threat have done little to allay public concerns. Lawmakers have expressed frustration. We read letters from everybody, all the senators, all four of them, from both New Jersey and New York. The governor of New Jersey sent a letter to Joe Biden. He's like, with all due respect. By Friday, drone sightings had been reported in several more states across the regions. Kathy Hochul said she was investigating the matter. The governor, however, assured the public, at this time, there's no evidence. Nobody's been told that maybe George Clooney and Nicole Kidman are racing against the clock right now. That evening, however, President-elect Trump also weighed in, saying, why don't we just shoot it down? Now, pictures and videos of the reported drones, they better be the U.S. government. If there's all this stuff flying all over us and we're just sitting here twiddling our thumbs like, how do they work? Facebook groups and Reddit threads are reporting this all over the place. Sabrina Singh, spokesperson on Wednesday, says they don't believe they're coming from a foreign entity or adversary. Great. Well, everyone's saying you should tell us what they are. are. They are quickly spreading all over the place. Mayor Eric Adams was explaining the concerns. Kirby is saying they're being investigated. We're looking into it. They're not doing anything. They're just lying about what they know. Here is what the senator said. We went through his thread yesterday. He was there with the sheriffs. He's like, hello, what's going on? Can you help? They walked him through it. Here's a report on the follow-up of that.
Right now.
The sightings in the sky keep pouring in.
Look at all these up here.
Videos always at night of airborne objects that are alarming residents.
This doesn't feel good, guys.
It gets closer and it's hovering right over the trees, and it looks like, I guess, an enormous drone?
Since last month, more than 3,000 sightings have been reported across at least 6 East Coast states. Some of those sightings by law enforcement and elected officials.
Oh, they are getting closer.
New Jersey Senator Andy Kim took this video and is part of a swell of local leaders demanding answers from the federal government.
I'm just not getting the kind of communication and engagement when it comes to the investigation that's happening by the FBI, Homeland Security.
In New Jersey, unexplained drone activity was reported above a naval weapons station, and the FAA ordered temporary flight restrictions prohibiting drones over an armament research facility and Trump National Golf Club in Bedminster. On social media, President-elect Trump weighed in, writing, "Can this really be happening without our government's knowledge? I don't think so. Let the public know, and now. Otherwise, shoot them down."
We need more answers. We deserve more answers.
The FBI is taking the lead investigating, but said in a joint statement with the Department of Homeland Security, there's no evidence reported drone sightings pose a national security or public safety threat.
No evidence, no evidence,
Bradley?
no evidence, no evidence. Yes, we know. That's the stupid phrase they just keep repeating ad nauseum. So in addition to that, we've got more gaslighting from the usual suspects. Here's more from John Kirby, who was coming out yesterday doing the no evidence routine. Fox News asking him the hard questions.
Do you know and you can't say? Can you tell me that?
No, Martha, I'm telling you, we don't
You
know.
don't know.
We
All right, let me
can't
ask you this.
corroborate every single sighting. Some of them we have, not all of them, and we're working hard to do that. We know people are afraid of it. We know people have concerns. We have those same concerns.
Yeah, but
So you see how he switched his words there? We don't know turned into very quickly, we can't corroborate all the sightings.
If they're flying over your house and it sounds like there are motorcycles landing on your roof. So let me ask you this. One, person who watched this online said they think it's a Pterodynamics Transwing Drone XP4, which is being developed by the U.S. Navy as a recon and logistics drone capable of picking up and dropping off packages between land and moving ships in high seas and winds. They're suggesting it's an American company. We asked the company. They said we can't speculate on the origin of the drones that are flying over New Jersey. So is that an avenue that has been inspected? Is this a private company that is practicing something? And wouldn't they have to clear something with somebody to have this kind of activity?
It could very well be, as I said, these could be commercially developed drones of some kind.
Why not take one down and figure out what's going on?
Okay, the idea of taking something down, again, you want to worry about public safety. First of all, we don't have enough conclusions to take that kind of a policy action. But let's just assume for a minute, Martha, that we did. I mean, you're not going to want to shoot something down where it could hit somebody's house or hurt somebody.
Well, the Coast Guard says that there are 30 of them following one of their ships in the ocean. So would that work?
Gosh.
I mean, again, we have to develop the policy options based on what we know we're dealing with here, and we just don't know enough to make those to take those kinds of actions. But my goodness, we're going to do everything we can to find out, and we're going to share as much as we can. I understand it's frustrating for folks.
Yeah.
It's frustrating for us. We want to know as well.
What does President Biden say about it?
Nothing.
He also tasked the team to look into this and to be energetic in doing it, to try to get answers. He saw some of these images yesterday. He has talked to his team, including his top leaders, including at the Defense Department. And
have you called in like AI experts or said, like, why don't we ask Elon Musk what he thinks, or brought in outside experts?
Yeah, Anduril, Palmer Luckey and Anduril, right? Some other private network people who can develop technology very quickly and respond to these things in an ad hoc basis. He is so squirmy and squirrely here. They know exactly what these are, and they know who's behind them. Shout out to Martha.
Working really hard right now inside our interagency and certainly supporting the FBI and DHS as they investigate this. And if we need to have additional conversations with people outside the lifelines, we certainly will do that. But I want to make sure I don't get ahead of the investigators and what they're doing.
It just seems weird. I mean, people, they're low. They fly fairly low, some of these. It just, I think, is amazing that the White House has no idea what's going on. I think that makes people feel really unsettled. In New Jersey, they sent out an intelligence bulletin, I should say, issued in December of 2024. 4 with recommendations for encountering downed UAVs. And it says a downed or landed drone should not be approached. It says request hazardous materials response unit or local hazmat team. And then it says request the nearest bomb squad. Do you agree with those recommendations if one of these things comes into someone's house or lands in their yard, or they have to deal with it?
Yeah, look.
They become hostile. They're just seeding stuff, dropping stuff off all over the place. Nobody knows what the hell they're doing. And then they suddenly become hostile, and they've been seeding the landscape for a month.
I haven't seen that directive, but all that makes perfect sense to me as a former military person. If something like an aircraft of any kind lands in your backyard or close to you or your family, call the authorities, don't approach it. You don't know what it is, and you don't know what kind of fuel might be on board. You absolutely should just call the authorities, make sure you report it, don't go near it, don't touch it. You don't want to get hurt.
Man, it's disgusting to have our government just lie so flagrantly to us and just try to squirrel away from answering any substantive questions. Do you know what these are? Can you tell us what they are? You know, well, we can't corroborate every reporting. There's thousands of reportings, and so we can't corroborate everything. Well, did you make these? Are the U.S. government making these? Are they commercial? Are they some other company? You know, it's going to be some partner connection, just like they outsource their censorship to Facebook, right? The FBI pushes on Facebook. Facebook does the censoring. It's a strange situation. Here is Mayorkas as well, trying to not answer any questions, saying they don't have the authority to do anything about these things. And again, as we pointed out yesterday, it's all the dumb agencies are playing patty cake with each other, saying we're, rubbing each other's back, looking into this. FBI, well, I don't know. We don't really have a lot of jurisdiction for this. It's local cops. Well, we need help. Okay, well, how about Homeland Security? They should be securing the homeland, including the airspace over the homeland. And then this guy should have authority to what? Blow these out of the sky. Does he?
President-elect Donald Trump, he just called on the Biden administration for you guys to either release any information it has about these mysterious drone sightings or shoot the drones out of the sky. How do you respond to the president-elect?
Well, first of all, the statements I've made already are the principal message that I want to communicate to the American public. We haven't seen anything unusual. We know of no threat. Second,
the fact that they're flying around and you cannot explain what they are is unusual. This is like the Ministry of Truth. These guys are just liars. How can you even sleep at night? We have a bunch of things flying overhead, and because they haven't done anything bad yet, we've seen no evidence of anything bad. But we can't explain them or tell you what they're about or where they're from or anything like that. It is so dishonest. I cannot wait till they're gone.
We have gone to Congress repeatedly asking for more authority to counter drone activity.
More money.
And we have also asked for more authority to give to the state and local officials under our supervision, because he correctly notes those authorities need to be expanded.
And we saw the letter from all the senators yesterday from New York and New Jersey. They were saying the same thing, that they needed to know in Congress how they could help. How much more money can we give to you, and how much more power can we unleash right now?
I want to play something another New Jersey congressman, Republican Jeff Van Drew, said about the drones over his state in New Jersey. Listen to this.
We're not being told the truth. They are dealing with the American public like we're stupid. They don't know what it is. They don't know what it's about. They haven't taken one down to analyze it. They have no idea where it comes from, but they know that it's not that. I mean, that's nonsense. They do not know what they're doing. Why don't they take one of them down, analyze it, and let us know what's really happening?
What do you say to the congressman?
Well, first of all, we have experts, and he should not diminish the extent of their expertise and the extent of their dedication.
What? Experts? They can't identify anything. I don't care how dedicated they are. They might be morons. They should go dedicate themselves to something else, because we want people who are dedicated to being able to identify things.
To the well-being of the American people. These are individuals who dedicate their careers to the safety and security of the United States of America, number one. Number two, it's not as though anyone can just take down a drone in the sky. That in and of itself would be dangerous.
Do you have the authority to shoot down drones?
Our authorities are very limited. That is precisely why we have gone to Congress to expand those authorities. Our authorities are...
Who has the authority? I would think it would be Homeland Security. I mean, if State National Guard can't do it and the Department of Homeland Security can't do it, we got to go to the DOD to unleash the military to do it. We need some Air Force pilots to go blow these things up.
Are limited by the United States Coast Guard in the maritime environment, the United States Secret Service in its protection of our national leaders, U.S. Customs and Border Protection.
What?
With respect to the border. We have various authorities that are discrete to the particular missions. We can't just shoot a drone out of the sky.
But do you know for sure these are drones or unmanned aircraft? What are they?
We believe that there are cases of mistaken identity where drones are actually small aircraft and people are misidentifying them. There very well may be drones in the sky, of course, but those are commercially available. One can go into a convenience store and buy a small drone. There are also commercial drones as well. But we know of no threat or nefarious activity.
Business.
And I want to repeat, Wolf, that if we...
Everybody's crazy, including the senator from New Jersey. Actually, all 4 senators and all their constituents are crazy. Everybody calling them is seeing things in the sky. Just normal airplanes. And there are fireflies up there probably too.
If we learn of any cause for concern, we will be transparent in our communication of it.
We know that some of these drones, whether in the Middle East or Ukraine, have weapons, have missiles attached to these drones. Wouldn't it be smart to at least get a look at these drones to see if they are armed?
Wolf, there is no question that technology has advanced in the realm of drones. They can fly farther, they can fly faster, they can carry heavier payloads. Our authorities need to keep up with the technological advances. The chairman of the Homeland Security Committee in the House of Representatives, Mark Green, has argued for and advocated for that expansion of authorities. So has Congressman Pfluger. We agree with that advocacy, and we have sought increased authorities.
As you know, it's causing a lot of concern. Mr. Secretary.
I'm here to calm those concerns, Wolf.
You've done
and we'll
nothing.
be back if there's any reason for them.
We'll continue this conversation.
Yeah, you've answered nothing, Mayorkas. He really makes my skin crawl because he's just a flagrant liar. He's coming out and he's telling everybody you're idiots. And what's interesting is he's probably behind it, right? He's causing this, or he knows who is causing this or why they are causing this. But then he just comes out and openly gaslights all of us into saying what you're seeing is just nonsense. And he's telling a Democratic senator called Andy Kim the same. He was out with the cops filming it in like 4 or 5 videos in a tweet thread. All lunatics. You're just seeing things. Stop, relax. I'm here to calm your nerves. That's why I'm here, Wolf. You can relax. You're welcome, America. And I guess the CNN audience will just eat it up. Oh, I guess there's nothing to worry about. They're not, okay? This is why these people lost so badly, because they think that they're like godlike figures. He can just come out and explain it from his perch from DHS and everybody will listen, but nobody believes them. And it begs the question, what is it all truly about? Then they go in and they sit down with senators like this. And this clip came courtesy of our locals friends yesterday in the after party. But this was another exchange from this local government official who went into one of these briefings and they're like, okay, everybody, welcome to the new briefing here. We're FBI, and we've got some updates on what's happening in the skies over us. Got a long series of updates for you, and so just buckle in. Hope you got your notepad and your coffee, because we're going to unveil a lot of information for you. Now, starting first slide here, put that up. What is a drone? It's a great question. Common question we get at the FBI. Many people don't know. So we're going to spend the first morning here today understanding what a drone is, why we use drones, the various types of drones that exist, and how you can fly a drone. And it's all nonsense. Different types of drones on Amazon, and so on. It's meaningless. And then they finally answer no questions for 2 hours.
All right, so you're here today. You were just inside. You walked out. Why?
I walked out because it was worthless. It was the biggest amateur hour presentation I've ever seen about anything, okay? It was ridiculous. There were no answers. Every question that was asked by a member of the state legislature, great questions, no answers, no resolution. They don't know where the drones are coming from. They don't know who's doing it. They don't know why they're doing it, but they say there's no credible threat. It was annoying to be there. I drove 2 hours to be here today, spent an hour in there. I got to drive 2 hours back. The biggest waste of 5 hours in my entire life.
So why do you think they called this meeting?
No idea.
To waste
Why would
your
you
time.
call a meeting to tell people you don't know anything? I have no idea. And then when the legislators would ask questions, there were no answers. Here's the most frustrating part. Colonel of State Police said that he had a helicopter of his flying over above one of these drones, a 6-foot drone or something. I can't remember exactly what he said. And he felt unsafe for his helicopter, so he just let it go. Just let it go. Where'd it go? Who knows? You know, didn't want to follow it because he didn't feel safe. Is that not the most ridiculous thing you've ever heard? I mean, honestly.
Do they have any idea where these drones are originating?
No, they don't. They would. Maybe if they followed that sucker when it landed, they would know, but they don't. This is a complete lack of effort, in my opinion, on trying to figure this out. This is not about ability. We have the technology, we have the people, we have the training, we have the resources, we have the money. It's just a lack of effort. I mean,
Why?
I don't know. They should be saying, you know what they should have done today with productive use of our time, if they didn't know anything, come in there and say, hey, legislators, we don't know anything, but if you get us these 10 things, do these 10 things for us, and the governor calls in this kind of action, we can figure it out. Will you help us? And then we would have helped them. But instead, it was just excuse after excuse, and we know nothing. It was infuriating, and I got up and I walked out.
You've been in the service, right?
Yeah, I was an attack helicopter pilot, Apache helicopter pilot in the Army, and I helped stand up the initial unmanned aircraft training battalion in the aviation sector of the Army. So I know a little bit about what I'm talking about, and these guys are not doing the job they need to do to figure out what's going on. And that is the Department of Homeland Security, the FBI, and the state police.
And they're saying no threat to Americans.
They're saying no threat, but how the hell do they know?
They don't.
They don't know anything. They don't know what it is. They don't know where it come from. They don't know nothing. When I walked in here today, I was actually pretty calm. I was excited to be here to find out a couple things. I thought they'd be like, hey, listen, it's FedEx, trying to figure it out. But instead, I got the most ridiculous amateur hour briefing I've ever sat through.
What is a drone? Next slide. Drones are unmanned aerial vehicles that fly through the sky. And unlike regular airplanes, which have passengers, unmanned aerial vehicles don't have passengers. Next slide. Okay, great. So thank you for that, FBI morons. So who knows what's going on? I think they ultimately know what's going on. Now, the bigger question is, what are they doing? And if you can extrapolate the patterns of the sweeps and the type of visuals that people are seeing, something like this, a swarm of HPGE monitoring drones, unmanned airborne drones that are scanning for something or training for something, and the person who explained it, who deleted his account, might be onto something. So we'll keep our eye on it. Thanks for reporting your drone stories here. We'll see what is happening the next time the swarms reveal themselves.